Good morning, I'm Suffer Jerome, and I thought I'd hop on to YouTube before my Twitch TV show at noon today. I do a show every day, or almost every day, on Twitch, which is for free tarot readings, but we often end up talking about Star Wars as well, so come on by and talk to me. So this morning I woke up to more news about Rumours for Episode 9 of the Star Wars trilogy, or third trilogy, or number 11 as some are calling it. The movie that's going to happen after The Last Jedi. It's the movie I'm talking about. So this morning, the last couple days I've been seeing spoilers on the various YouTube channels and news articles and things like that. And then this morning I woke up to the news that the powers that be are saying none of these rumors are true, and these are old script ideas from when Colin Trevorrow was going to take over. But then other places were saying that no, these are J.J. Abrams' ideas. So I don't know. All I know is I hope these ideas are gone, because I didn't like much of any of them. I guess I've made a few notes so I don't get too off topic. So we have like Rey running a Jedi temple, which to me seems logical and normal, especially if we're doing a little time leap. They're saying 5 years, so that's fine. Hopefully, as we all know, my big dream for Episode 9 is that we actually find out who Rey is, because Rey knows who Rey is, even though Kylo's messing with her, gaslighting her, and lying. We don't know who Rey is, but I still stand by my conviction that Rey and Kylo are related, either brother and sister, or cousins, or second cousins, something like that. Now, so apparently Rey according to rumor, Rey's running a Jedi temple, and and then it turns out that one of the students is her baby or her child. So I guess a 5-year-old child, or a 3-year-old child, or a 1-year-old child is training at the temple. I don't know. And then apparently Rey and Kylo still keep in touch. But this baby isn't Kylo's. However, to me, if they're going to go with this horrible plot line, which makes no sense to go with at all in any way, shape, or form, but to at least make it Kylo's kid so we have some tension, even though they're going to end up being related anyways. Or Finn's kid, because we had fantastic energy and foreshadowing of some kind of relationship in The Force Awakens, which was largely ignored in The Last Jedi, so that Finn could run off on some horrible side journey with Rose for no reason, and almost die for no reason, and should have died. So someone commented on one of my other videos that in the book, apparently it makes sense why Rose and Finn don't get smited down by Kylo when they're running across the sand. But for those of us that only saw the movie, and we expect our movies to have plots and stuff, I still don't know why they lived at all when Kylo was mad at him defecting. And hopefully Episode 9 will tell us a little more why Finn defected, because we don't know. Like, he's trained his whole life, I think, to be a stormtrooper. We don't know why he became a stormtrooper, if this is just, if he's from a family of stormtroopers and they all have to become stormtroopers. Are they genetically trained to be stormtroopers? I thought stormtroopers were robots, but that was another movie, I guess. So why, and then we saw him, upset in Jakku, when his buddy died, and, put the blood on his helmet so that we know which one he is out of all the stormtroopers. That was more, for toys and stuff, right? But we don't know why seeing people die in Jakku affected him, and was this his first war? And considering he didn't really see anything bloody or anything, how is this worse than anything else he'd been through? What changed his mind? We'll never know. But, and as I've opined before, he went through all his character hurdles in The Force Awakens. He went from being a coward to being, the dude that stood up against Kylo Ren. So why he went backwards in The Last Jedi, we'll never know. Well, we know. It's called shitty writing. So anyway, so then apparently there's this baby So there's going to be a baby at the Jedi Temple, I guess, or the new Jedi Temple or Academy or whatever Rey's running the show. And so the baby's not Kylo's, and Kylo's mad about the baby, and yeah, so he should be, I guess, because if he's force connecting with her, why didn't he know that she was pregnant and having a baby and seeing all that in their little magical dreamlands? But anyways, I don't know. Hopefully all that's thrown out anyways, because it's just weird and icky, and it brings up too many questions. Rey is like one of the least sexy people I've ever seen in Star Wars. She has zero sex appeal. Even when she and Finn had the great charisma in The Force Awakens, it seemed more like a buddy thing, not a let's get busy and make a baby thing. She just, to me, I don't know, but I'm a woman, and to me she's just like not, she's more focused on the Force and stuff. Well, one thing I wanted to throw in with how they could make her not be so Mary Sue, as in The Force Awakens, you can kind of see, and I don't know if it was intentional, but to me, in my own head, watching it 1,000 times, it seems to me she learns from Kylo. Every time she connects with Kylo, she learns more about the Force. Like when she's strapped in the chair and he's digging through her mind, and then she realizes what he's doing, and so she imitates and digs back and actually gets in there. And that, to me, I always said in my head she got in there because they're related, or she's a Kenobi or a Skywalker or whatever. But other people pointed out maybe she was learning, and that's how she's learning to use the Force, and how she got so strong, and then hypnotizing the guard, which, you know, was more of an homage to other movies for the audience than it was for, you know, how did she know to do that in the movie, right, when she got the guard to let her out. But to me, that didn't bother me before The Last Jedi came out, because I figured it's going to be explained, and we still have another chapter to get it explained. It's not over yet, folks, although everyone's very divisive right now with this second movie out of the 3 movies. The more I think about it, turn my phone off so we don't keep having these noises, all my Star Wars sounds. The more I think about it, the more I do wonder that, you know, the point was to get us all agitated. I think it was to get us excited and hopeful for the 9th movie, but it went too far the other way, and it just made most of us angry and not caring about the 9th movie, because you just killed off our Luke Skywalker, or at least that's how you've let it be to us right now. We think he's dead. Now there's rumors galore circling that he's not dead at all, and I hope that's true, but I think it's probably just wishful thinking, because Rian Johnson himself has said in his head Luke is dead. But, you know, I think the other powers that be, which is JJ's in charge now, and Kathleen Kennedy and stuff, they may see how upset some of us older fans are about this whole Luke just going down after, you know, doing a Skype call or whatever. So, you know, I have hope that they are going to do something about that. Maybe he had to go somewhere, you know, he scattered in the stars or whatever, however they ended The Last Jedi, and then he's gonna rematerialize a few years later. He just had to go get some training from the other side, or astral project to another plane and get fixed up, and Yoda, and, you know, like where was Anakin when he died? Where was, you know, it doesn't make sense that he died at all, because he would have seen Yoda and Anakin and Ben Kenobi and all that. So I still don't think he's dead. Even though in the theater at the time I was in denial, and I'm like, no, he's not dead. Then I see people freaking out, he is dead, and it's like, no, he's not. In my head, he's not dead. He's not. Yeah, and then there was the whole, a few weeks ago, a casting call for Mara Jade or whatever. I still think, and I said this on another video, that I think that's secretly casting Carrie Fisher's role as Princess Leia. They're looking for a woman about that age, and I think they need to recast that role, at least for a few scenes, because opening with the scroll of Princess Leia's dead, or opening with a funeral, or whatever, they keep talking about not wanting to do cliche stuff, yet they do cliche stuff, so I don't know what they're going to do about any of that. And that's the thing too, they made this big deal about The Last Jedi being, different, and it's not. It's all the other movies. The Force Awakens is A New Hope. The Last Jedi is a combination of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And the sad thing is, neither of those movies had to be related to any of the movies that happened before. They could have gone on entirely new adventures. They could have had the three characters, our three legacy characters, off on an adventure that had nothing to do with anything we've seen before. No First Order, no Empire, no nothing. It could have been something completely and totally different with no politics and nothing to divide the fans. Just good old-fashioned adventure against something somewhere. But they chose not to do that, so now they're, so now the fandom's divided because people are like, what's happening? Yeah, and then I read in the leaked script that it centers around a water shortage. It's like, what? Is that not an Earth problem? They have an entire galaxy to hang out in, like huge galaxies to hang out with. It's a galaxy long time ago, far, far away. We've never even seen them use water, have we? Like, I guess on Jakku there was a water trough, and but do these creatures, are the humans, do they need water? We don't even know. Like, it's a space opera. We don't even know if, Rey and Luke and all those guys, are they even human? They're made of midichlorians or whatever, like. So anyway, so now they're having a water shortage, just like in the Mad Max movie. Hey! So now we are going Star Wars meets Mad Max, and we already started seeing that with the Han Solo movie in their Mad Max costumes, in that Western scene. That's, to me, was total Mad Max. I haven't seen Solo hasn't come out yet. For those watching this video another time, today's just May the 8th, so the Solo movie isn't out yet. We don't know much about it yet. But the commercials and stuff we've seen so far does have some characters that look very Mad Max looking, with the apocalyptic future or past or Western or whatever. And again, we don't have to borrow from other movies or other tropes. We're in a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away. Anything can happen, but I guess now for Chapter 9 on The Last Jedi, after The Last Jedi, The New Jedi, whatever, there's going to be a water shortage, so hopefully they're getting rid of that idea, because that's just, yeah, I don't think that's the best idea either. And then we have the Knights of Ren. And apparently they've been casting for 6 men for Knights of Ren, so hooray, we're going to see some Knights of Ren action. And I would assume that these would be Kylo's guards, because we don't have the Praetorian guards, because they screwed that up for some reason. I still don't know why those Praetorian guards didn't bow down to Kylo as the new Supreme Leader, because when Snoke was dead and Kylo took him out, then the order of villainry, or how these kingdoms go, is that the guards would bow down to the new leader right away, so they don't get thrown in the dungeon. But they didn't. They just decided to have a fight, which was one of the best fights, well, the only fight really in the movie, and it was a cool fight and all that, but it didn't make sense to me. So then I saw something about now the Knights of Ren are all going to be women, and I hope that was just someone being silly, because it's like, I'm a woman, I'm all down with the women stuff, of course, but to me it felt like if the Knights of Ren were created out of the Jedi temple that Luke was teaching, or I don't even know, we don't know what the Knights of Ren are, Kylo Ren, Ben Ren, Ray Ren, I don't know what's going to happen. But it seemed to me like it would have been a bunch of dudes hanging out and they all have the Kylo Ren masks or whatever. I don't know. We'll find out. I hope they're cool. I hope they do something really, really cool with these Knights of Ren. I hope they don't do something stupid with them, but who knows? Anything can happen. We're literally in the wild, wild west of Star Wars now, where anything can happen, because there were no plans. Nobody cared about doing continuity or creating stories that actually go from point A to B to C. They're making it up as they go along, so whatever. It's hard to be invested in any of it anymore, because we know they're making it up as they go along. And hopefully J.J. Abrams is listening to the fans, because he gave us he gave good fan service in The Force Awakens, too much so, like I said, in the fact that they didn't create a new story, they just did the same old. But then, yeah, and I still wonder about all these animals that were set free in The Last Jedi, and I'm still angry about how the children weren't. Why didn't they come back for the children? What was it? I have to look at the ending again, because I get so mad past the point where Luke dies, I always forget about the next part. But what is it, 2 years later, they're acting out toys or something in the stables, because they're still there, because nobody went back for those kids, and somehow they hear about this fight with Luke and Kylo, but the fight didn't really happen because he was just astral projecting. But how did these kids hear about the fight? Because I don't know if there's TV or not, or whatever they might watch as entertainment devices in the future, past galaxy thing. And then all the animals are set free. I always just think of all those those spoofs and cartoons of, free the animals, and then they all get eaten by the wild animals who know how to survive in the wild, and the tame animals don't. So I suspect all those wild animals either got rounded up again, or the escaped animals either got rounded up again or died horrible deaths at the hands of other animals. Yeah. And then this morning, too, my last notes is, last night I started seeing things about Mark Hamill spoiling something about the Han Solo movie. There's a big cameo in the Han Solo movie, and now it's spoiled. I still haven't peeked to see what that is. I almost started watching some videos last night talking about it, and so far I don't know what the spoiler is, but I bet I can't even get till noon without finding out that spoiler. It's like 10 o'clock here in Toronto right now, and it's probably Darth Vader or something. I hope so. I really hope so. It's something cool like that. And Mark Hamill's supposed to be on The Big Bang Theory this week, so for Shamey's wedding. Sheldon and Amy are getting married on Big Bang Theory, and Mark Hamill's supposed to be a surprise guest, which is great because Carrie Fisher and James Earl Jones were already on Big Bang Theory, so it'd be cool. And they have Bob Newhart being like Sheldon's personal Obi-Wan, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with Mark Hamill, and I think he's just playing himself. And yeah, so I'll probably know. And the reason why I'm not calling for a boycott of the Han Solo movie and all that is, first of all, the very first blog I wrote on my website after I saw The Last Jedi was that Rian Johnson was the one who got the job to make this movie, so it's his vision that got to be shown, and we still have to kind of stand by that, even though it doesn't make sense to me why they would let these directors have their own visions, because when I realized, and I don't know why I didn't realize it before, but I realized Rian Johnson is almost as old as the first Star Wars. So he's a very young man, in my opinion, because I was 15 when Star Wars came out on opening day in 77. And so I think someone who's more my age might have been a better choice for directing, because they've been around to see the world before and after Star Wars and the huge impact it had on society and everything we do and is connected back to Star Wars, and it's been so fascinating to watch the world change. In the 70s, the world before Star Wars, and then now we're in 2018, and even people who've never seen a Star Wars movie knows what a Star Wars is, or knows something about Star Wars. It's everywhere, all the time, every minute, and so someone who had experienced that phenomenon might have made a good director, and certainly Ron Howard is closer to my age, and so that's why I feel like the Han Solo movie may have a lot of the fun and flair that was missing from The Last Jedi, and hopefully J.J. Abrams does seem to have, his finger on a lot of what makes fandom exciting, because he did do things in The Force Awakens, and I'm not a Star Trekkie, so I don't know what he's done for Star Trek or not done for Star Trek, and again, I've heard a lot of split ideas on that too. You can't please everyone, but certainly someone who
is interested in making the franchise better and moving it forward, would be a wise choice. And I certainly believe that Kathleen Kennedy thought that's what she was getting with Rian Johnson, and totally trusted him as a fanboy, not realizing just how divisive he was going to make everything. And I still stand by that kind of idea, because I know how films are made, and that it's a room full of people. It's not just them flailing about in the wind. There's teams and committees that approved all these things, and so that's how it went this time. And it's too bad, as others have said, like with Lord of the Rings and stuff, that they didn't just write all 3 movies at once, and then had them planned out, blueprinted, and a certain arc, and then shot them all at once, and then we would have had the continuity of Ray, Luke handing the thing to Ray, and all this sort of stuff. But we got what we got, and that's what we get. And I don't know if there's any fixing it, because a lot of people don't think anything needs to be fixed. The fandom is literally split in half. If you look on Amazon, there's 38% 5-star reviews, 39% 1-star reviews, and a bunch in between. It's like 9-5-9 or something, like completely split. Every day I look at the Amazon Blu-ray reviews, and it blows my mind how evenly split the fandom is. And that's what happened with this movie. And a lot of people are boycotting Solo because they're so unhappy with this movie. And I understand how that is. I understand the theories and not wanting to spend another dime on a disappointing movie when we feel like we were. And I feel the same. I feel like Johnson, was laughing at us. But in his quest to try and be so different, he made the exact same movie everyone else made. The only thing that he made different was putting in humor that didn't work. And I love humor. I have a great sense of humor. His humor did not work. It drew things away. He made a laughing stock of Finn and Luke. No, like I said, I didn't mind Luke being a crusty old man, but he needed character redemption that wasn't just a Skype call at the end to his nephew, who we know he's not going to kill, because he would have killed him already if he was going to kill him. So there's no tension in that. So we just got to see what's going to happen next. And maybe Luke's not dead. That's my only hope. That's the only thing I really care about, is that I don't have to see Luke being a Force ghost. And where are all the other Force ghosts? And why didn't all the other Force ghosts help Luke project on the aisle if they're also invested in all of this? Anyways, there's too many questions, and that's fine. So I'm not boycotting Solo, because I feel like Solo's a lot like Rogue One, in the sense that it's a standalone movie. It's not related to the major trilogies, and that's where my interest is, the Luke Skywalker stories, and I want more Luke Skywalker stories, because we never got enough over 40 years. Yes, there were books and comics and cartoons and all that, but we never got Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker doing this role wonderfully. And he's still with us, so why can't we have another Luke Skywalker movie or 2, maybe a couple movies in between, the Force Awakens and all that? What's he doing on that planet? And or maybe flashbacking to why Han and Leia even sent Ben to him to begin with, and what was that all about? Or there's a lot of questions we have, those of us that just follow the major movies. But anyways, so with the Han Solo movie, like I said, I feel like it's more like Rogue One, and Rogue One was a really good movie. Parts of it were really insanely boring, but parts of it were amazing. I felt it was miscast. I didn't really like Felicity Jones in that part, but maybe the way the part was written. I don't know. I just never felt a lot of, I don't know, whatever. But I did like the movie Rogue One. I have it. But because I thought for sure, and I said it before, that scene with Darth Vader and how much everyone loves it so much, that end scene where he just powers through, and then Leia gives the message, or they give the message to Leia. That was just insane. It's still one of my favorite cinematic moments of anything, really. Not the best, but like when it's way up there. And the excitement and thrillingness of that, and watching people act it out at Comic-Cons and stuff. I really thought Rian Johnson would have learned from that and put similar types of things in The Last Jedi. And I'm hoping that at least Ron Howard maybe is listening to things and put moments like that into the Solo movie. So with Ron Howard being an experienced seasoned director, and he's done a lot of fantastic films, and like I said, he's of the age of being a Star Wars nerd and understanding how the world changed with the influence of Star Wars. I do hope he managed to do something good with Solo, even though he had to, fix up someone else's disaster or whatever happened. We don't know. We only hear rumors and speculations, and that's all this video is rumor and speculation that I heard from other rumor and speculation. So just giving my 2 cents. So I hope all these rumors I've been hearing about number 9 of the Skywalker Legacy series, or whatever you want to call it, is not true. I hope they are getting way more creative than the stuff that's been leaked so far, because the stuff that I've been hearing so far, I still am like, I don't care about episode 9, but it'd be nice. And I managed to go into The Last Jedi not seeing any spoilers, not seeing trailers and all that. I managed to really be in a vacuum. And so therefore I wasn't as disappointed as I could have been, because in looking at the trailers afterwards, I would have expected a completely different movie than what I got. I really thought, Luke, there would be more. Anyways, enough of that. So with the Solo movie, I've seen a couple of the trailers, because I'm not as invested, because I'm a Luke girl. So to me, it's all about the Luke Skywalker. So now we have a Han Solo movie. And I'll go see it at some point, and hopefully you get people excited again. And I hope the best for episode 9. I do hope Mark Hamill comes back as a living, breathing Luke Skywalker. I hope Rey doesn't have a baby, because that's just gross. And I hope Kylo and Rey are enemies, not lovers. And that Finn gets the arc he should have had, and that he is a Force user too, and we learn more about him and his ways, and that he and Rey get together and hang out, and maybe even get married or whatever. Okay, so those are my Tuesday morning rambly thoughts. And may the Force be with you.